embarrassing thing I've done for money.
Most challenging part is the leader of the world.
So first off, what's your name and what do you do?
My name is Joshua Idusohan and I'm a filmmaker.
Tell us about the first time you tried to start a business.
Literally never. This is the first business I've ever started.
What did you want to be when you was a kid?
I actually wanted to join the armed forces actually. As a police officer, yeah. I wanted to join the armed forces. Then obviously I wanted to be a basketball player because obviously I was really good at basketball and stuff. Then I wanted to be an author. Then that sort of transferred into screenwriting, so writing scripts for film and everything. Then that transferred into like sort of directing and obviously doing all that stuff. Then that transferred into cinematography and editing and all of that stuff. So it's sort of, it was a weird process, but yeah, the first thing I wanted to be, like proper job I wanted to have was being in the armed forces, which somehow transferred into filmmaking. Which, yeah, that jumped.
What would 7-year-old Josh say if he saw you now?
I think he'll be like, you're doing all right. I think he'll be like, yeah, you're on, he'll be like, yeah, keep going.
What's your proudest moment to date as an entrepreneur? Good one.
It's weird, it's more of a personal one, through doing this business stuff, it's a weird one. It's like an overall type of like achievement, just seeing yourself progress and sort of become a better person. Like just overall, I feel like I'm, much more mature, more independent, more, to the point with things, way more focused, I've got a view where I want to go, just that alone I think feels like an achievement to me, because I know for a fact if I wasn't, doing, entrepreneur stuff, this business building, branding and everything, I would not be the same person. I'd be a totally different person. I wouldn't be as just, awake, I wouldn't be awake. That's the best way. I don't want to say woke, but I don't want to say that one. I'm not a big fan of it, but yeah, you can say that. But yeah, I'm awake. I see much clear, see clearly.
What would you say is your strongest character trait?
Definitely focus. I'm very, very focused now. Very focused and passionate. It's cool when you see the goal and you see where you want to go and what you want to do and everything. It's like you just want it because you can get there. You know the exact route. You know what to take and the path to take. And you see, you just want to do it. So you just automatically become focused. You just automatically become passionate.
What's the most money you've ever lost or made in a single day?
Again, doesn't really count as a loss. Would be probably buying a lens, probably about 200. Again, it's not a lot because I'm not. In terms of money, again, mostly it's actually Brandon who sort of, does all the sort of money stuff, all the sort of that business side. Again, I'm more of the sort of creative side, more. You can say director of creativity, right? So I sort of tell him, go get that stuff, right? Obviously, I give him the money, sometimes if he needs that extra bit, and he goes along and sort of focuses on that. So I don't, I buy mainly small stuff. So again, £200, it's not a lot, but to me, because compared to Brandon, he buys in bulk. He spends a lot of money and stuff, right? Yeah. So compared to him, like me losing 200, that's a lot. That's like there was one time I had to actually give him 400, which technically is more expensive because we were going to go half and half actually. Change that actually was like 400 actually for a lens. So we're going to go half and half, 50-50 for the lens. Me losing 400, I was like, Brandon, please, just get the lens. just don't do anything, extra with it. And obviously, it's, to him, it's probably normal. It's probably like 400, it's nothing.
If we gave you £1 million, what would you do with it?
Obviously, you probably get this a lot, but obviously, I'm going to say it's a business person, thing. You're obviously going to reinvest into it. Obviously, again, put it into MTN Films. Get any again, not go crazy with equipment because again, don't say when you get a big amount of money. Again, look at what you have. Still look at what you have. Yeah, you got a lot of money. That's great, but still look at what you have. Then think about obviously what you still need. Because there's no point. Yeah, got £1 million. You might as well go buy a red camera, which costs about 50 grand or whatever. Might as well go get this camera, that camera. But I'm like, what's the point? We've got a camera which can do the same quality as that. So again, spend on more things that you wouldn't usually buy, but benefit the company even more. So if we do end up making more like sort of short films and things like that, we'll have money for distribution as well, which we don't actually usually have. So again, put that forward to distribution.
Is capitalism good or evil?
I do believe that, you know, if you work for it, right, you deserve it, you know, like you put in work, you know, if someone else, I mean, if I'm getting this right, well, I hope I'm getting this right, but, you know, if someone else, you know, doesn't do the equal amount of work as you, you know, I mean, I don't think they should deserve less, but I think, it's hard to say, but I think it's just the balance, right?
Is money the root of all evil?
It is. I mean, I believe it is true, actually. Because then you got to ask the question, can I just sit around there and not do anything? Then I still get equal as everyone else? Is that fair? Then why don't we all sit around and do nothing? The world will be a mess. It just wouldn't work. So again, it's a 50-50 thing. I'm not either. I mean, obviously I'm more on this, you know, sort of the, you know, the other side, you know, away from capitalism. I'm more on that side because I think, again, equalism is always the best. I think everyone should always sort of be on the same balance. But again, there's some aspects of capitalism which I think, you know, are in a way fair. In a way, you know, it's just, I don't find that it's fair that people can just sit around and just win. You know, it doesn't, it's not fair. So yeah, that's what I think.
What was your worst or most difficult customer or client?
The worst thing this client has done is just, we can see he's passionate about this project. He wants it made. Fair enough. Again, he's paying us a lot of money to do it, right? Just fair enough. I can see it. Like, wow, you know, like he really wants this to be done right. You know, we're the same. You know, if we were to make a film, we want it to be done perfectly right, especially if you're paying money for it. But figures he just doesn't know. He doesn't know. You know, he didn't know that films were cut. Like, you know, how you shoot something, you shoot the other side, then you cut together. He didn't know that. And we're like, me and Brandon were looking at each other like, what? He barely knew what the director, you know, the purpose of a director. He didn't know, you know, things like that. He didn't know. I was like, this is your job. You're the director. You know, you've got to sort of do this, you know. And it's just, you know, things like that. So, and we can see his passion. It's not like he's evil. He's not. He's a kind guy. He's not rude or anything. Like, he's really not rude. It's just, he just doesn't know. And he's too, it's something like in between arrogance and persistence. There's a word in between there.
Have you ever been scammed?
Actually, yeah, I have. I have, but again, it wasn't successful. So it's a photography thing, actually. Obviously, they called us up. They said, hey, you know, come down and get free photos, you know. really nice free photos. And we're like, yeah, you know, cool, you know, let's come down and do it, you know. And again, you know, the way they did it as well was that, you know, your friend blah 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 has, you know, referenced you, you know, you should come down. So okay, they must know this guy. This guy, you know, went for it. And again, I wouldn't expect this person to go get his pictures taken. So, you know, went down, you know, got the pictures taken. Oh, it's really professional, really nice photos. Then obviously, it came to us and they said, okay, so this is how much it is for, you know, these photos. Even though they said it was free, they still charged us for the photos. And we were like, no, you said, you know, these are free. And obviously we had a sort of big debate, you know, me and my dad there. Luckily I had my dad there. The price was like 120 for like, 10 pictures? 120 for 10 pictures. It's like, no, you know, we didn't come here to, you know, buy nothing. So we said, you know, give us free pictures for £20. And yeah, we managed to get free pictures for £20, which is fine, you know. So we didn't go there to waste time, and we didn't go there and lose like a massive amount of money, but still, you know, in a way, it still took away time from us.
What would you say to them if you saw them now?
To be honest, like, really, get your customers, you know, in a legit way. Don't just call them up and personally, you know, use their friends or their family, you know, sort of in a way against them to sort of lure them, you know, lure you in, you know, lure the customers in. It's just not, it's not right, you know.
Tell us about your lowest point as an entrepreneur.
Oh, lowest point, that's a good one. It's usually it would be rejection, right? Rejection from anything, really. But weirdly, it's a small thing. I don't know. It impacts me a lot. It's when something doesn't work, right? It could be anything. Equipment, when equipment doesn't work, or we purchased the wrong piece of equipment. I mean, Brandon would know.
Tell us about a time you almost gave up and persevered.
I'd say this was actually before we formed the company, actually. So when I was, you know, on my own, shooting my own stuff. Again, I was still working with Brandon, but again, it was a side project and things. And so yeah, it was just, you know, hard to get jobs. I was thinking about becoming a freelancer, even though I didn't want to become a freelancer. I actually wanted to get an apprenticeship, like join an apprenticeship, or, and sort of just do that and just get experience. But again, all these big apprenticeships and things like that, they just rejected me and things like that. And I thought, I thought it was good. I thought, all the stuff I've been doing was enough to sort of at least get me to one apprenticeship. Actually, I got rejected by so many. At least all of them. I applied to like 40, and obviously another 80 jobs, and little junior, small, like junior film roles.
What made you keep going?
Our own projects, literally just making our own films. Still had that, gave me that best feeling, like the skill is still there. No matter how much they reject me, the skill is still there. Therefore, I shall continue, and I'll keep using that skill.
What's your biggest insecurity?
Again, it's comparing work. I mean, I've sort of taught myself to now overcome that, but it's still the same. Instagram, comparing my work to more higher, professional, bigger budget work, and I'm like, when am I gonna get to that level? It's like, and then obviously,
show us your frustrated face using someone else's great work.
It's like, no, Dad, come on, do it. You see their work. You look at your own work, and then obviously you look at your own clients as well. you look at their work, you look at your work, and you look at your clients, you look at their clients, and it's like, you just sort of like really wanna. It's like, come on, man.
What's the hardest thing about being a businessman?
Sacrifice. You had to sacrifice friends. You had to push away a few friends. All friends. To be honest, we've got no friends. To be honest, we've got no friends at all. They're all gone. I lost my last friend like a few weeks ago. He just stopped contacting me. But yeah. So yeah, that's one. Things like that. Friends. I hate to say it, but family as well. You don't get to spend as much time with them. That is a very scary thing. Time just goes. You're so focused on what you're doing, which again is a bad thing in my opinion. It's a real bad thing. Time just goes and you miss out all this stuff. But you're still focused on that business, and it's like you keep. I mean, it's not really an excuse, but it's that sort of. I'll make the time eventually in the future. But again, how long are you going to tell yourself that? I'm going to make the time. Don't worry. I'll get my friends back. I'll contact my friends. I'll meet my family again. I'll go to events and things like that in the future. I just want to build this.
How much money do you make a year?
Since it's our first year as well, it's only 10k. We'll probably come up to again. All that money is basically gone because again we invest that money back into equipment and everything. But me personally, not a lot. Like really, like literally like $2,000.
What's the biggest mistake entrepreneurs make?
That's it. It's ignoring the reality of entrepreneurship or just building a business. The reality, obviously the sacrifice, balancing time, saying no to a lot of things, and sometimes all people see is just the money. All they see is obviously the rich people making it, driving their cars and all of that, and blaming Instagram. Blaming Instagram. Yeah.
What inspires you on a daily basis?
Gary Vee. Yes.
Gary Vee.
Yeah. But it's weirdly, it's just a goal because I've imprinted that in my mind so hard, like over these past 3 years since leaving college. I just put that in my mind. It's just that this is what I want to do. Yeah, I know what to do. Like I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna do this, which will lead me to, a step closer, right?
Is poverty a choice?
Yeah. Again, obviously, as Brandon said before, in countries and other places, sometimes you just don't have a choice. And annoyingly, you don't have a choice. But if you're living in, like a city, or if you have the chance, if you're living under a roof, poverty is a choice. If you're living on a roof, you can get out of that. You can get rid of that poverty. You can fly up. You just gotta think about it and do it. That's the main thing.
Did you take on debt to get started?
No.
If you became the leader of the world, what would your first action be?
Just find a way to balance the money across all the countries across the world. I don't know how that would work, so don't be like, oh, that's stupid, that's not gonna work. But somehow just balance the money in a way, just sort of, because that is it, let's be honest, that controls everything. Even climate change, it changes, it's money, isn't it? It's just, money is just the root, right? So you control that.
What's the most shameful thing you've ever done for money?
I honestly, I feel so. I mean, Brent, I've got this thing, right, where you know, when I say, because I'm the one who actually took on the job. You know, he obviously spoke to him, and I was like, you know, yeah, we can do this. We can do this film. And you know, I brought the whole of MTN onto this project, and obviously we all suffered on those long shoots. And I got this thing where I say, you know, when we're in a low point where it's like 14 hours into the shoot, and it's still going on about, you know, explaining us, you know, to us the scene, and we're like, get it. I just go like, you know, I take full responsibilities for the actions I've committed, you know, for taking on this job and for following money. And yeah, I'm sorry. Then obviously Brandon says, yeah, I accept.
Something really quick to just encourage any entrepreneurs who are aspiring.
Once you find that thing that is passionate, and it has to be passionate. Once you find that idea in your mind and in your heart, you're like, you love it, you know, you tell yourself that, you know, you wake up and you do it every single day. That's it. I say go for it. You know, stop thinking about it and just go for it. You know, obviously think about the logistics, but go for it is the main thing.